So in these first 13 years of my life here in the United States, while I came here already with a bachelor's degree. I had a bachelor degree in political science, minor language studies, and public administration. But I usually tell people, the way you come to America is one thing, can help or hinder you to succeed. But the way you continue your life from here is very, very crucial. That's why you find someone like me, you find there are a group of YouTubers, or especially immigrants, have different channels on YouTube or in the blogs explaining their challenges in life and how can you make it easier when you come here. The purpose of all these YouTubers, bloggers, influential people, especially immigrants, is to make easy path for others also to be able to succeed once you arrive here. So for me, was a little bit different. If I might talk about my first job in America, it might be different from one person to another. So because I came here under special program, it was a program to teach at the university. So you come here, your degree, you need to have a bachelor degree on this particular program, which I had. Among other things, you must have a major or minor in English or literature, which I had. So you're supposed to teach Swahili language because you are a native speaker of Swahili language and a Fulbright foreign language teaching assistantship program. Then after that, you also have to become some sort of cultural ambassador to teach culture on campus and off campus. You have to do that. So the first thing, when I arrived here, I was given the office. Boom, this is your office. I was teaching Swahili. There is another lady from Russia, was teaching Russian, and my roommate, Said El Sayad, that is a very nice guy from Oman. So he was teaching Arabic. So we are all in different departments. So for me, obviously my first job, I had my own office opening there. You have the school prospectus, and the school prospectus is written, Professor Ernest Makulilo. That was the funny part, because remember, we grew up in Africa, in Tanzania in particular, where there is a very big distinction when it comes to education classification. If you are teaching from primary to secondary, wherever, you are called a teacher. University, you can be tutorial assistant or seminar leader, or then you become assistant lecturer, you become a lecturer, you become a senior lecturer, you become associate professor, then you become professor. So all those classification. But in US, they simplify. You know, US, they want to simplify so many things. So anybody, yes, there is a educational level called the professor, is associate professor and a full professor in America. But anybody who is teaching at the university is called a professor. So for me, prospectus was written Professor Ernest Makulilo, and I'm being addressed by students as professor. So it was cool to be called a professor. So that's why every time my resume, usual or whatever, I introduce myself, oh, I was a former professor. Just like Obama, what is going to say, oh, because he taught at the University of Chicago, he said he was a former professor at the University of Chicago. So yeah, I was a former professor at Marshall University. Professor is someone teaching at the university level. So I was teaching at the university level, so I was a professor. But not a professor with a PhD in everything. I don't know, that's why sometimes it's confusing some people. Whenever they address me, some people, especially mostly from other countries, they address me as a doctor or professor. I say, no, I'm not. So I have to apologize for the confusion. And maybe sometimes because my brothers and my sisters are professors, they are doctors, whatever, so they confuse with me sometimes. I understand that one. But that's why the reason I'm planning to take a PhD, so that when you call me Dr. Ernest Makulilo, I don't need to apologize to anybody anymore. So that is something else. So for my first job was a little bit different. So while I was teaching at the university, it was a different experience to be in the class, to be a professor. You have to learn quicker how you are going to be able to deliver some of these classes you are going to teach to someone who doesn't know about the African continent or your country, Tanzania in particular, or East Africa in general, or doesn't know anything about your food, about language, you have to teach them Swahili. They have to have even a basic understanding, a little bit conversational. So you have to be skillful in all these kind of things, which was very good. I have no complaint at all. So that was my official job. But what am I going to do on my off time? So I had to do other deals. So like apart from my professional job, the other job I had to do was to be making pizza at the Pizza Hut. So I went to the student cafeteria and I was making pizza. So that was my job with the cafeteria, just make pizza, bam, bam. And I don't eat pizza. I will talk about what kind of food I eat, what kind of food I don't eat, despite of being here for 13 years. I'm so much picky on certain things, so that's me. So for me, I was making pizza at Pizza Hut, and then I was doing free volunteering at the Huntington Library, which is the city library. They had special international weeks, all those kind of things. Also, I had to volunteer to teach every week at one elementary school. I was going to from first grade to fourth grade, fifth grade, I think I remember. So you go every week, you talk to different students, introducing them to issues in Africa. You can talk animals, you can talk about just life, food, all those kind of things. So just to introduce them. So it was a very cool experience for me. And then my other spare time, I was donating plasma. Plasma, for those who do not know, just like within the blood, there is something called the plasma. So when you donate plasma, so you can donate blood or plasma. So the plasma centers are different. So you donate plasma, they take out the blood, and then that blood, they are going to take the plasma from the blood, and then the blood is taken back to your body. And that plasma is going to help a lot of people. There are so many children who are born with the lack of plasma, pigment, whatever. So you cannot make a pill of that, so they have to give them the real plasma. So, but by saying thank you, they give you, it was $25 back then, I think, for each donation. And you have to donate maximum twice per week. If you want to donate many times, it's twice per week. The more you eat, you drink, you have juice, fruits, whatever, the plasma comes generated again. So that's what I was doing. So by $25 per month, I was getting another like 200 extra by doing that. So that is something on the side. Yes, I'm saving the lives, I'm supporting, but you get some extra cash here to move movement from one place to another, and it helped me to get connection to know more about the medical field, because when you donate there, you can talk to those nurses and how does it take to become this type of profession, whatever. They talk a lot, and they explain to break down to you. So that was my initial job in terms like my profession was to teach at the university. Then I was starting with that one. Then from there, from West Virginia for 1 year, I moved to California. After getting the scholarship, I was doing my master's there. Then that's where I got married. I will talk about marriage in a few minutes. But while I was in California, got married down the road, you do other kind of jobs. So despite you have good masters from the best university, University of San Diego, which is among the prestigious one in California, still it's very difficult to get a job. When I'm talking the job, I'm not talking of $10 job. I'm talking about to get a job which you can have a family, you pay apartment, you can have all these kind of things. Those were the difficult moments on my life. So, and then you are married, then the child is about to be born, you are not settled in that particular area, then we ended up, my wife and I, we had to move back in to my in-laws, which is a very disappointing as African ego you have. A man cannot go to live with your in-laws, but you don't have the money. Your in-laws say, can you come and stay here for free? So you have to come down to realize that it's not the end of the world. And for me, despite it was difficult at the beginning, in my mindset, how I was processing, but it helped me to have a very good relationship with my in-laws. It helped my in-laws to know more about Africa and more about me. It helped me to know more about American culture and more about them, and especially my relationship with my wife grew even stronger because there are certain things if happen, I know it's a family background. Instead, if I could just, we got married and we could live somewhere else and we have very little interaction with my in-laws. So in one way or another, well, it was difficult, but it helped a lot, especially on my end and in my in-laws in terms of the relationship and my marriage in general. So I'm thankful to that, on that particular area. But while I was in California, there are jobs you are doing, but you have to do, because the good thing about US is this, which I like about it. There is status, I agree, but respect of someone is someone who is going to work, someone, or you have your own business, self-employed, whatever. You are doing your own thing, you get the money, you are paying the rent, you are paying the bills, you are paying the tax. If you do those kind of things, you earn your respect. It's not about what type of job, because if you go to the office and you sometimes, I'm giving an example, let's say someone, you go to the office and to become a manager, they give you 2,000, but you go to become a security officer, security guard, they give 3,000. Obviously here people go with it, they become a security guard, how much money I'm going to make too on that particular end. But sometimes we come in Africa and say, we are used to, you have to wear a tie, you have to do it this way. So all those kind of challenges. So I worked in jobs which you go to the job, nobody has education higher than high school. And you have to respect, because those people are hardworking. They have been working maybe there for 5 years. You is your supervisor. Remember, if you get another job, if they do a background check, they know you worked somewhere, they can call and ask about your behavior. So whatever you are, even if you are going to start a job cleaning the toilets. I clean. One time I was cleaning the warehouse, but they had so many toilets because it's just a warehouse for clothing production, and I'm the only person who's cleaning. So you have to do those kind of things. And so the funny part was, one day when I was cleaning to one office of the owners were 3 people. 2 are brothers, one another person. So each one has different office. So I was cleaning one of their brothers, wherever the owners of that warehouse or the industry making the clothing. There was a photo of Serengeti. So I was looking at that photo. So the guy asked me, "Do you know that place?" I said, "Yeah, that is in Tanzania, Serengeti." So how do you know that? So we started talking. I'm from Tanzania. So from that moment, so during the lunch break, he came to sit with me. So just talking like normal. I usually don't talk about, okay, I have children, I have this. We're just talking like normal. So he asked me, "So how did you come here?" So I just explained, I came here, was this program, whatever. So what do you plan? Do you plan to stay here for longer, whatever? But at that time, I already have my life was very difficult. So I already have the PhD scholarship to go to study political science in another university. So I said, I'm still waiting for jobs. If I don't get a good job at the moment, I might just decide to go to do PhD. I said, "Do you want to tell me you have master's degree?" "Yeah." So we said, so he became a very good friend. He gave me his business card. So if you need anything, later I was planning to do clothing. He was just there to write me recommendation, or if I need, if I want to do the clothing expansion, just let us know. We can see, we can design. You can come with a design. We can work on your design if you want to buy specific. So sometimes as long as you are humble, it helps you a lot. But don't come here. For instance, because I have bachelor degree from Tanzania, or I have master's degree from Kenyatta, or I have this degree from University of KwaZulu-Natal, so that is, you feel that you are over everybody. But you forget that there are so many people, so many knowledgeable people, or very good people. They don't have those PhD, they don't have those masters. Mark of Facebook doesn't have the bachelor degree, whatever they dropped out from school. So you need to have the respect, because you never know who you are going to meet. So I did that kind of job, clean that way. One other time I was doing it was plastic production, like the plastic bottles, whatever. It's just in that entire industry. We're only 2 people who can speak English. The rest is only Spanish. And the other one was just high school student. So they have to make it all together on one shift, because you can speak English. So those are the things, sometimes we just do the steady job, oh man. So it is very interesting kind of that. Even when I went to the Navy, I didn't go and say I have this kind of degree, but some people, when they Google you or whatever, "Oh, this guy has 1, 2, 3, but you have to be humble. put those education away and just go and find jobs, pay tax, take on your own responsibility. So whatever I was doing, all those kind of jobs, that was not my destination. I was not looking like, oh, when I was in Tanzania, I was getting maybe university allowance or loan, whatever, of $200 per month. Now I came to America, I was getting 1,000. Now I'm getting 2,000. Let me rest. No. My goal is down the road. Maybe I'll be a governor. Maybe I'll be a millionaire. Maybe I'll be a senator. I don't know. But I'm also always shooting to the moon. Maybe one day I'll become an ambassador. I don't know. But I have to have higher goals, higher expectation. That's why there are so many things I have to avoid. I cannot drink and do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. Because I know those will be the recipe for me to have a block into attaining what I want to attain in my life. So that is like just on the job lifestyle, how it was. There are certain jobs like, man, how is this going? But over the time, I've got very good professional jobs. Those were just starting. Currently, I'm working as a director for organization which I'm working as director for Africa. And in Africa, I'm in charge of 5 countries: Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Madagascar, and Rwanda. So, which is very good. So those are the things, like, you are thankful for that, but you never know where the future will hold, where will be end up maybe 5-10 years to come. You never know. Might be in the Congress and doing something more better than what we are doing right now. But that is what I wanted to explain. When you come to these countries, you have to do whatever it takes. But as long as it's legal, you are in the right track and in the right place.